Some families of the victims who lost their lives in the Boksburg gas leak tragedy almost a week ago now are appealing to government for burial assistance. 17 people died at the Angelo informal settlement on the East Rand. The tragedy has been linked to illegal mining in the area. The grieving families are now calling on government to help repatriate at least 16 bodies to countries including Mozambique and Zimbabwe. Well, the DA's Gauteng leader, Solly Msimanga, visited some of the families yesterday. He joins us live for some sort of feedback. Solly, good morning. Thanks for coming on what the families had to tell you about the difficulties they face now. And it's two-pronged, isn't it? Having lost a loved one and now having to deal with the logistics around laying them to rest.
Well, Michelle, thank you very much and good morning to the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. And thank you for the opportunity. It's still a tragedy what transpired there. And I'm scared to tell you that I think what happened will most likely repeat itself in not so distant future from now on. Because the promise that was made to that community and to the public at large was that there will be permanent police presence on the ground, that, we will curb this issue. But I can tell you right now, the community leaders have been told me in no certain term that within 24 hours of that announcement being made and, the police being there, the police had only raided a tavern and then disappeared. And nothing has happened since then. And literally, we are now sitting with a situation where the operations, the illegal operations have already resumed in that area. So that is one thing. The other issue is that, yes, there were, victims, 17 people, including young kids as young as under 1 year old and, some elderly people that had passed away there. And they were left to their own devices. Now, these are families that don't even know when the next meal is going to come from. But, the undertakers are telling them to get their bodies to Mozambique and to Zimbabwe will cost anything between 7,500 and 15,000 a person. Now, there's an old lady who has lost the son as a daughter-in-law and 2 children or grandchildren. Now, you multiply the 4 times 15, you're talking easy 60,000 rand to just get the bodies over, to Shai. This is not, something that they will be able to then do. This is why I decided that perhaps let me write to the High Commissioner of Mozambique and find out if they will be able to step in and assist in getting the bodies, back to their home countries, and then be able to then give the families the necessary, burial that they must get.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 2 things from what you've just said. The first, that illegal mining has already resumed in that community.
Yeah, I mean, that is, illegal mining has already resumed. What I'm scared of, Michelle, is that the community leaders are telling us that the group that were part of the mayhem last week had actually now disappeared for a little bit. And it's a new face or a new group that is now taking over the operations there. So what most likely going to happen there is that there's going to be tough war again when, the other group then tend to return to this particular area, which means that you're going to have violence that might actually then ensue because there will be tough war that is taking place, and also the kind of operations that we have seen happening there. In fact, on Saturday, I'm told that one of the community leaders was shot dead while, trying to stop people from, presuming the activities, saying, well, look, it is because of what you're doing that we have lost so many people here, and now you're already presuming with your operations. And this person was unfortunately killed. So this is, again, telling you of the situation that is there that needs immediate attention and addressing, but is not getting it.
Yeah, I think, Solly, that after this call, our producer will get those details from you, because that certainly is an incredibly worrying development, that police had promised to have a 24-hour presence in that community, that it didn't even last a single day, and that, someone has now been killed as a result of illegal mining resuming there. We certainly need to follow up on that part of the story. But insofar as the people who have lost loved ones, as you say, in many families, it's more than one person. It's several people who have died from the same families, and they now face this massive bill of trying to lay their loved ones to rest in their home countries. I think some of the amounts that they've been quoted is up to 15,000 rand to transport each body to either Mozambique and Zimbabwe. So I suppose the question that will arise for people watching this interview is, whose responsibility is it, Solly, to ensure that these bodies are repatriated in the case where families can't pay for it themselves?
Well, look, I think, there's two things, and this is why I initially, before going to the Premier or to the MEC or to anybody, I wrote already to the High Commissioner, the Mozambican High Commissioner, and the Zimbabwean High Commissioner to then say, are you able to then assist in this regard? But, Michelle, you need to take it a step further. If somebody is in your country right now, if we're not going to be able to do anything about it, if let's say Mozambique or Zimbabwe is not going to be able to do anything about it, unfortunately, they will be lying in government mortuary for a very long time, or actually they will be taken into the private morgues, and those morgues will not be able to release them until something is done, which means that, it still falls again, in the ambit of the South African authority to, then most probably provide a indigent burial for these people in South Africa, which means that they might not be able to then get those bodies, across. So, the responsibility still lies with us, whether we like it or not. At the end of the day, if, these countries' representatives in South Africa choose not to assist in this regard.
Yeah, it's a case of humanity, I suppose, Solly.
It is a case of humanity, but there's one thing that is also very heartbreaking, Michelle. One of the ladies that, is a survivor of this incident that I met with, the husband unfortunately passed on. She narrates the story that, when she and her husband collapsed in their shed, they were taken to hospital. Literally 3 minutes after she had just gained conscious in hospital, she's told that her husband has passed on, because she didn't know by the time. She's told that the husband has passed on, and 2 hours later she's released, and nobody's ever checked on her. There's no counseling, nothing's ever offered, in terms of assistance. And that to me talks about humanity that, we need to then return in terms of how we deal with people. Whether you like people that are here, whether they're illegal or they're legal, the fact of the matter is that there are people that have passed on. They are victims in this whole situation, and we need to act a whole lot better than what we have seen happening here last week.
Yeah, it is the worst moment of their lives, having lost their loved ones in this manner. Solly Msimanga, let me thank you for your time this morning. Several issues that we will certainly follow up on insofar as the Boksburg gas leak at the Angelo informal settlement is concerned. Tomorrow, it'll be a week exactly since that happened.